Welcome back, Terrell Thomas, TheseUrbanTimes, and on this edition of Pull Up a Chair, we have a gentleman that came down all the way from Ohio, Dayton, Ohio, that's doing a lot of things in the music world. I guarantee you, if you're not familiar with his music right now, by Christmas and definitely by this time next year, you'll be bumping his music, streaming his music, and who knows, maybe making your next baby to some of his hits. Ladies and gentlemen, 4Seasonz in the building. How you doing today, good sir?
What's going on with you? How you doing?
I'm good, man. Pleasure to have you out here. We appreciate you coming through. As I mentioned, man, you came down to the A from Ohio. You were letting me know off camera that this isn't your first time in Atlanta, of course. So I'm going to dive into what actually has you out here. But talk to us about Dayton, Ohio. A lot of cats, they haven't been to Dayton. They haven't experienced Dayton to get to see what it's like. What was it like growing up in Dayton? And what's the music scene like out there?
Well, Dayton is home of the hustle. It ain't nothing too big and populated, but it's its own community, its own culture, its own, you know what I mean, hustle and bustle. Everybody out there just trying to be somebody. So, I mean, I'm pretty sure there's a whole lot of places like that, but.
So talk to me and let me know, what was the music scene like growing up in Dayton and whatnot? I know for me, when I think of Ohio, it's kind of spread out, you know, about with Cleveland and Bone Thugs, and I remember growing up, my uncle playing Ohio players and stuff like that. Right. Dayton sits more, I guess, in like the Midwest factor of the United States or whatnot. What was the music scene like for you growing up out there?
So Dayton has a whole lot of history as far as like California's whole sound is kind of based off of Dayton's Ohio funk. You know what I mean? It's a whole lot of like superstar groups that came from Dayton, and even solo artists like Zap and Lakeside and Ohio players. There's a whole lot of big dogs in the game. Now, there was also some other people like some rappers like Bone Thugs just coming out of Ohio, period. But for me, I was listening to people like my dad, and also people from other places. Like I listened to my pops, his whole group, the HOC, the Monsters Inc. movement. That was kind of what I grew up around. There was some real MCs really putting on for the city, and it was dope. But then I also came up listening to people like Akon and Kanye and 50 Cent and the radio, really. You know what I'm saying? So like I had my family that I was listening to, and then I also was listening to the radio, my personal self. But there's a whole lot of John Legend, Springfield, Ohio. Like we got a whole lot of history as far as talented people coming from our little area, you know.
Now I'm glad you mentioned your father and you being a child of music. Give us a little more details about your dad and his background in music and how that inspired you and the sound of what you have today.
My dad been making music for 30 years. 30 years. I mean, just as far as being a musician, like from singing, singing and rapping and producing other artists, making other people dope. You know what I mean? I watched my dad make like a few people like into real dope artists and complete artists, somebody that could actually be shot and sell something. You know what I mean? So I always grew up, and my uncles, I have uncles that are dope MCs, and also from like Platypus, old funk groups. And I mean, you know, but my dad been making music for a long time. I used to listen to one of his classic albums, Slave Labor, and it's just straight lyricism and also knowing how to deliver it, knowing how they want to hear it. You know what I mean? And that's how I look at music now. Like I got to make sure I'm giving good lyrics, and I want to make sure I know how they want to hear it, because that's important. They gotta be able to vibe to it and listen to it. So now I got my own little groove and sweet sounds of, you know what I'm saying, some dope bars.
Now it's also dope and inspiring from my perspective because we grew up in a true R&B era where we had songwriters and singers, and you know you had men that actually they was begging for the women and begging for sex in their melodies and whatnot, and begging for love and singing in the ring. And hearing the music and what I've heard from you so far and speaking with you, I do see that like you're a true singer, a true musician, and you were also explaining to me about writing music and composing music. So talk to me about the lane that you're in, because it's kind of a blend, R&B-ish. I don't want to say, again, Afrobeat-ish, but it's like an international sound in which you have very melodic. Talk to me about your creative process.
Well, I don't have a name for like, or just like a real solidified process of how I do it, but I tend to just figure it out. A lot of times, lately, I've been just forcing myself to be in the studio. Like,
I respect that.
Instead of trying to just come up with the song, write it, and then go to the studio, I'm like, man, look, I'm about to go ahead and book these 2-3 hours and just be in there, and I better come up with a song because I just paid for these hours. You know what I mean?
respect that.
So it's been making me come up with some beautiful pieces too, though, and it's also been making my mind sharper and I've been getting more conditioned to making more dope shit. Like I used to feel like I could only make 2 dope songs in a 4-month span, but now I can go into the studio. Anytime I go into the studio, I'm coming up with something, whether it be at least just a hook or 2, or a full song. You know what I mean? So I've just been kind of also picking the right sounds. Like the beat means a lot to me because I don't make beats, but somebody had some type of ear for something. They was in some type of creative space when they came up with this, and it's talking to me. You know what I mean? So I gotta do my dance on it. You know what I mean?
4Seasonz, very dope, unique name. Where did that come from?
My pops, he had helped give me a show like back in 2017 or something like that. We had just moved back from Atlanta, and it was like around New Year's, and his homie was having some New Year's party at this venue, and he wanted me to perform there, and I was like, shit, let's get it. But I had to come up with a stage name. And before I was calling my name, I was calling myself Lil Doc, because his name
I
is
ain't mad
Doc.
at that. I respect that.
Yeah, his name is Doc Frank, so I was calling myself Lil Doc, but it was kind of like, I'm a singer, I ain't even no rapper, so it's kind of silly of me to call myself a rapper. I was just trying to find myself some independence, my own self, you know what I mean, be a little bit more creative, and then I thought 4Seasonz sounds cool. It popped in my head and it sounded cool, but also like the way I be making music, I feel like I got a little something for everybody, just like the seasons is a little something for everybody. Everybody likes somebody likes spring, somebody likes fall, somebody likes summer, somebody likes the winter. You know what I mean? So it's a little bit of something for everybody. It's in my own kind of way. You know what I mean?
That's all. I respect that tremendously. I know that as of now you're working on pushing singles and putting out singles and such.
Yes.
But what would you say so far has been something that you've written that best describes you as a man or as an artist?
That best describes me that I've written?
Yes, indeed.
Something that's already out, or just
something that's out.
Okay. I'd probably say, What You Got For Me. Right now, I got this song called What You Got For Me that I wrote.
And that was released last year, right? Like towards the end of last year, fourth quarter? Okay.
Towards the end of last year, fourth quarter, yes, sir. Well, I mean, basically, it means a few different things, but the overall thing is what you got for me, because I need a little more than a sight to see. I'm really coming for the gold. And if that's not what you got for me, I'm going to go ahead and keep finding it. Don't try and sit here and hold me around just for some bullshit. You know what I mean? I don't know if I can be cussing on the thing.
No, you all good.
But it's just basically what you got for me. Because I need something more than what I can just have fall in my lap. You know what I mean? Like, I'm out here looking for the gold. I'm looking for the big wins. So I think that describes me well right now.
Now, I know from speaking with you and just hearing your sound that you're also, like, you're a historian of music. You do your research. You've listened to a lot of music growing up. You pay homage to those who have come before you. And I know you're working on, I have a piece that is kind of dedicated to Sade. And you know, you're looking to get that out to her. So if you had an opportunity, right, and they could be living, they can already be deceased, you could pick 2 artists, past, present, and whatnot, to be like your dream features, to do a collaboration on the track. Who would those 2 artists be?
All right. Well, I'm gonna go ahead with the 2 obvious ones, which is Prince and Mike.
Okay.
Like
that's not obvious though.
No-brainer.
You know what I'm saying? Cause
I feel like that's like, come on.
Some cats ironically sadly don't even know some of Prince's music right now. So that's like,
Hey man, that's a bad motherfucker. If you don't know, that's a bad guy.
No, you fine, dog. You fine.
Hey, he cold with it. He cold. And if I'm gonna do a song with Prince, I know I gotta bring my A game. It's gonna probably push me to some type of creative space I've never even thought I'd be in. So I'd definitely be like, yeah, let me get that Prince song.
Do you want romantic Prince, like something off some Purple Rain type shit, or do you want like party Prince on some like I Would Die For You type vibe, or something a little more upbeat?
Whatever we make naturally best, whatever we could have made naturally best, I'd say, you know what I mean? Like if it ended up being, because I feel like I love steering towards those kind of like fun, a little upbeat, more like you could do a little dance to it type songs. But I mean, shoot, I also like to slow it down, and I know he was able to do a little bit of everything, so yeah.
What are you currently working on for our audience to, you know, kind of understand how you're rolling out your music and what you have planned and plotted without giving away too many jewels? Right. What are you currently working on?
Well, I got a couple of dope singles. I got a song called Proper Thing. I got a song called Sade, of course, that we're trying to go ahead and make into the complete package because it's a beautiful piece of work. I just finished like writing and getting it recorded like within the last couple of weeks, and I ain't been listening to too much other than it. I want to get a video done. If I'm fortunate, we can go all the way to Italy or some craziness to get the video did. You know what I mean? Just to get the whole scenery, and I really want to make it big and beautiful, as I think it should be. You know what I mean? And that's really what I'm worried about. And I also got another couple of. I have 3 singles I'm dropping this one. I ain't gonna say the last one, but I will say the first one is it's called I Swear, and the second one's on Sade, and they're both dope. They're both amazing.
A year from now, where do you hope to be as an artist?
Man. I mean, I'm ambitious, so I mean, a year from now, I'd like to be as big as Drake. but I mean, realistically,
speaking into existence, manifestation.
Realistically, I like to have built and earned a real devoted fan base that really enjoys the music that I'm giving, and I also would like to have got the work machine to where I can get the music out, not too much, but enough to where people are just satisfied. You know what I mean? The people that want to hear it are satisfied. That's what I like to do. A year from now, just consistently able to just drop music at a good pace and have the fan base to hear it. You know what I mean?
Okay. If this is my first time checking you out, and I'm like, damn, I really want to hear some of this guy's music, find out what he got going on, what single would you recommend folks go listen to?
It's already out. Shoot, go check out that Dance You Do, man. It's a beautiful song. It's a dope vibe. It's real mellow and smooth. I'm talking my talk. I'm painting a picture for whoever wants to hear it, you know what I mean, or see it. And anybody can, you know what I mean, find some type of groove to it and something to do. If you're cleaning up the house or out driving around making your little moves for the day, you can definitely enjoy that, you know what I mean.
Once again, Terrell Thomas sitting down with the man himself, 4Seasonz, pulled up a chair on us all the way from Dayton, Ohio. Let our audience know how they can check you out via social media, how they can stream your music, how you can just stay in tune to everything you got going on.
My name is spelled funny. It's the number 4, SeaZonz, and you can find me on all platforms under the same name, Instagram, Spotify, SoundCloud. I don't be on TikTok, but I mean, if you want to look up on TikTok, yeah, I think I got one that's 4Seasonz. So yeah, 4Seasonz, number 4, SeaZonz. Man, we appreciate you again for pulling up, good sir. We're gonna get with you in about a year, a couple months from now, and just kind of catch up on the, you know, and see how far you've gotten to what you say you wanted to do and whatnot, and continue to support what you got going on, good sir. It's been a pleasure, man. Thank you.
Much love, much love. Stay tuned. We got a lot more from this cat, a lot more coming up with These Urban Times.